little moon coming up tonight, shining through the trees. Crickets are singing and lightning bugs are floating on the breeze. Baby, get ready. Across the field where the creek turns back by the old stone road, I'm gonna take you to a special place that nobody knows. Baby, get ready. Ooh, you and me go fishing in the dark, lying on our backs, sailing, counting the stars where the blue grass grows. Down by the river in the full moonlight, we'll be falling in love in the middle of the night, just moving slow. Staying the whole night through, feels so good to be with you. Spring is almost over and the summer's coming, the days are getting long. Waited all winter for the time to be right, just to take you along. Baby, get ready. And it don't matter if we sit forever and the fish don't bite. Jump in the river and cool ourselves from the heat of the night. Baby, get ready. Ooh, you and me go fishing in the dark, lying on our backs and counting the stars where the cool grass grows. Down by the river in the full moonlight, we'll be falling in love in the middle of the night, just moving slow. Staying the whole night through, it feels so good to be with you and me. Going fishing in the dark, go lying on the backs and counting the stars where the cool grass grows. Down by the river and down by the light, we'll be falling in love in the middle of the night, just moving slow. You and me go fishing in the dark, lying on the backs and counting the stars where the cool grass grows.
What is up, everybody? I got some kinks figured out. I got Skype working again so we can actually get some live feed going. So there's been some fish caught. There's been a lot of fish caught. And man, there's one thing I do want to show you guys. So I had one of our broadcasters yesterday send us a video of his catch, one of the big fish of the day that's been caught so far. I'm going to get into that. I do want to go over a couple things real quick. These might not be the most accurate. I just did them, but a lot of fish just got submitted. So here's the result as of right now, or as a few minutes ago, because some of them won't be completely updated. Eric Siddiqui has a 92 1/4 lead over Zach Adams. Sherman Bishop has a 52-inch lead over Rolando Martin. Derek Brundle with a 79 1/4 lead over Chris Delgado. John Futch with 79 1/4 lead over Brandon Burton. Thomas Gent with a 9 1/2 inch lead over Steve Glinka. I've told you, Gent, Steve is on the hunt. You better cull some of those fish out, man, because he is coming for you. He is coming hot. Jason Garner, another fisherman from Maine, with a 48-inch lead over William Fentress in Texas. These Maine anglers are not playing around one bit. Jonathan Pepin, 55-inch lead over Greg Oakes. He's been consistent all day. Anthony Garcia just uploaded a lot of fish. He now has a 58 1/4 inch lead over Marty Hughes. Marty, you got to get some of those fish you caught yesterday, man. You gotta cull some out, or actually got to add some to your bucket. That way we can get you up there on the leaderboard. Of course, Todd Patrick with a 20.5-inch lead over Randy Wagner, his one fish, but it was a good one. And then last but not least, Cody Wagner with a 16.5-inch lead over George Nemeth. Now, like I said, those might not be the most updated, only because there was some fish that just got added. But let's go ahead and show you this right here. Boom.
All right, let her go. Dude. Boom!
And that is we'll show it one more time. For some reason, it won't loop the video, so we'll go through it one more time here. We'll go to.
All right, let her
we'll
go.
show you the boss. Just an absolute tank. Video of its nice release.
Boom!
I know he's pumped up about it, so we'll get that on there with him. Hopefully get a live video with him here soon. I'm glad that he's out there. He's out there grinding, and I told him, dude, you've got it. Just keep going. Let me see if I can get our leader here, Eric Siddiqui, on the phone real fast. We'll see if we can't get some get a video with him going. I know he is out there killing the game, putting on an absolute clinic today. We'll see if we can get him on real quick. I think I fixed it, so we're going to give it a shot. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Man, you're out there killing the game today. You're on the live broadcast here. Everybody can see you.
What's going on?
So, so you said you were going to put on a clinic, and now you're putting on a clinic.
I'm trying.
What do you got going on out there?
I'm just switching back and forth between a chatterbait and a buzzbait, jackhammer and a buzzbait.
Gotcha. Okay. Are they? So it's been pretty consistent. It looks like.
Yeah, it's not been bad. I've had 7 bites, caught 6, and 1 hit right by the boat.
Well, I gotta tell you, your opponent hasn't put up any fish right now. I don't know if he's watching the leaderboard, but he's got to be shaking in his shoes a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know where he's fishing, but I guess he better get on it.
How many inches is it going to take to be number 1 overall today?
I'm going to try to put up around 100.
Well, you've pretty much led all day since you started uploading, so it's still early. You still got a lot of time. It shouldn't be nothing for the famous Siddiqui to throw up 100 inches.
Right. It looked like it was going to rain a lot of the day, but it's been just how I wanted it. So if this breeze would pick up a little bit, it would help. But it's been good.
It looks like most of the storms are kind of holding off until this afternoon, and I guess you've got some low pressure and cloud cover going on. You couldn't ask for a better bite.
Right. That's what I was hoping for. I got it. So just got to take care of business.
Well, good deal, man. Well, you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Out of the kids and woman at home. And that's about it, I guess.
We'll let you get out there and keep grinding, man. We're keeping an eye on you. You keep doing your thing.
All right.
Later,
Thanks.
man.
Later.
All right, so the man is on a buzzbait, chatterbait grind. He's out there. He's out there killing it. The storms haven't hit Mississippi yet. Man, I gotta say, I'm really surprised Brad Case hasn't thrown up any numbers yet, or if he has, I haven't seen them just yet. Eric Siddiqui's down there in his backyard, and he's crushing the game. I can't wait to see what happens when Mr. Case gets on his grind, because once that guy gets on the water, he's a couple whistles away from getting the fish in the boat. So we'll keep an eye on that one. We do have a really close matchup between, Steve Glinka just passed Thomas Gent. Glinka just put up another fish, called out to 72 inches. He has a 4-inch and a quarter lead over Thomas Gent. Thomas Gent hasn't been able to call in a long time. He's got to get another fish in there. I talked to Glinka last night. He doesn't have Skype. However, man, he is on a mission. He's on a hunt, and he's going to grind. Let's see if we can get a hold of. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get a hold of old Jonathan Pepin here. I know he was having some issues earlier submitting fish, but he's been putting on an absolute clinic too, and nobody really picked anybody to beat Greg Oaks in this. So he came in an absolute underdog, and he's just smashing the game. So let's bring him on here real quick, see if we can get him on the phone and see what he's got going on. If I can spell his name right on here, that's my problem. Let's see if we can get on Mr. Pepin on here. Mr. Pepin, how are you doing?
How's it going?
Is that, am I saying it correctly? Is it Pepin?
Yep, Jonathan Pepin.
Good deal, good deal. Well, I got you on the live feed here, so everybody's listening to you. Camera's not working, but we got you on audio.
I'm trying to figure this out here. I'm new to all this.
There we go. Now we're good. So, man, tell us what, I got to say, I know you were a replacement angler kind of last minute.
Yep.
But nobody really changed their bracket. Everybody thought Greg Oaks was still going to go, and you have came out here and just put on a consistent clinic all day.
Man, it's been a struggle, though. I tell you what, this morning I tried to go offshore and find some structure because it's been a struggle to get water temps back up here in the Upper Peninsula in the past week or so. I mean, 3 days ago, the water temperature was like 33 degrees. But as soon as I got out off the mouth of the river where I'm at, the wind started kicking up, and it was stupid. But I tried it out there for about a half hour. But either way, once I started coming in, started trying some things that I normally never do, and I got on the board with a 16. And then it's been kind of a lull for a little while, but I finally just within the past, 20 minutes, half hour or something, I just put I think it was at 18 3/4 or 19, and I just caught a 20 just now. So hopefully, I'm just hoping for that 2 more fish. That was my goal, to just catch a bag today, because it's been a struggle for me, man.
Now, I haven't gotten a chance to look at the fish. Are you fishing largemouth, smallmouth? What are we fishing for here?
Smallies.
Smallies. So you're putting up 20-inch smallmouth.
Oh yeah.
Well, speaking from a guy from the South and looking at you in a toboggan and gloves, man, that is incredible.
Hey, I just took my jacket off. I got layers on right now, but it was snowing this morning too. I had snow, and it was I think it was 36 degrees when I left the house.
Dude, it was 47 when I got on the water yesterday, and I almost cried like a little girl. I don't do cold, so I got mad respect for you guys. And man, you northern anglers are coming to play today.
Trying.
Well,
trying to get something done.
All I got to say, man, you came in ranked an underdog as far as the bracket pool goes, even though you were a last-minute entry. But, I am pulling for you. We're having fun watching you. And as you're going along here, you just caught a 19 and a 20. It shouldn't be nothing to add 2 more fish to the board. You should be pulling close to 100 yourself today.
That would be nice, but I'm not counting my chickens before they're hatched. I know how it goes up here. Sometimes they just shut off, man, and I'm just gonna grind her out right till the end if I have to. And like I said, my goal today was a 5-fish bag. I didn't care if they were 5/15s or whatever, but so catching anything 19, 20 is just I'm just happy.
Well, a lot of people advanced yesterday just by having 1 fish.
Right on.
So, I'll let you get to it, but man, we are having a blast watching you. Eric Siddiqui said it's going to take close to 100 to be first overall today. He's sitting at 92 and a quarter. Man, you put up a couple more fish, you're going to be right there with him.
I'm going to try, because if I can make it through this round, that's who I'm going to be facing. So,
well, hey, Todd Patrick flat out said, nobody be surprised if you come in and put up close to 100, and you're only 2 fish away.
I try, man. We got some big smallies. The last couple of years, I've been catching master anglers, smallies over, almost 22 inches. And I'm not fishing big lakes or anything. I'm fishing most of rivers off of Lake Michigan and stuff like that. So I got my fingers crossed that I can find a couple more tankers here. So, but either way, just keep an eye on the leaderboard there. Hopefully I can be up top towards the end of the day.
Hey, we're going to keep watching. I hope to get you back at the end of the day to find out what you did to get first place. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
Just my wife for letting me come out and fish all day. That's my biggest supporter right there.
Amen to that, man. Well, I'll let you get back to it. We'll touch base later, man. You get out there, get those 2 fish, and get up there with Siddiqui. Show him who's boss.
I'm gonna do my best. Thanks, eh?
Thank you.
Goodbye.
All right, so he's up there catching some slab small. I'll be honest with you guys. I ain't never even caught a 20-inch smallmouth. I don't even know if I have ever seen a 20-inch smallmouth outside of pictures. So I've got mad respect for these northern anglers because I just couldn't do it. It looks like, no, okay, yeah, John Futch put up another fish tying him with Derek Brundle. I believe Derek Brundle has the tiebreaker with Big Fish. Somebody else moved up here. Hold on one second. No, one sec here. It takes forever for my leaderboard to update for some reason. Here we go. So, Thomas Gent did call out, took the lead back from Steve Glinka. I really want to get one of them on the phone because, man, they are just going at it. I've got a couple people sending me images in. If somebody could just shoot me a quick message of... okay, Eric Siddiqui said he should have stayed on for a minute. That one that hammered this buzzbait right after we got off. So he just caught another one, called another inch up. He's at 93 3/4. So he just got another one on the boat. If somebody could send me Thomas Gent's fish, I want to see what he's got as a total 5. He's sitting at 86 1/4 inch with the second best bag of the day right now. Him and Glinka are going right at it. I'm going to shoot him a message. I'm going to see if I can't get him on Skype as well because I gotta say this is the closest we've had. They're going back and forth on this. I know Steve doesn't have Skype, so we'll get that in there. And I'm going to bring on here in just a second. I've got Andy Green that wants to talk about his day yesterday. We're going to do that. Before I do that, I want to get the man, Mr. Todd Patrick, on here so he can tell us about his big fish. Here is Thomas Gent's fish. So he is staying pretty consistent. He's got a 19 18 1/2, a 17 3/4, a 15 1/2, and another 15 1/2. I'm sure all I had to do was tell him to start calling. That's exactly what he did. So, buddy, you just keep grinding, and we're going to keep an eye on you. We're going to keep an eye on Mr. Pepin as well. Let's go ahead and see if we can get Mr. Patrick on here. And that way we can tell him about, or he can tell us about his catch. I know he seemed really pumped about that fish. So let's see here. He sent me his email. Yep. And any of you other guys that want to fish, I'm still going to try to get Jason Starley on here from yesterday. I want to hear his story. That was one of the big things for me. If any of you other guys that fished yesterday, if any of you guys are watching, if you want to get on here and tell us a little bit about your day, by all means. Let's see if we can't get Mr. Todd Patrick on here and see what he thinks. Mr. Patrick.
What's up?
Well, the whole nation just seen your monster fish you caught for the day. How are you feeling right now?
Good. I was shaking for about 5 minutes afterwards, to be honest with you. Like I said yesterday, I was pretty candid, transparent with everyone. I've never had a 5-bag limit in a tournament. Biggest bass I think I had in a tournament, maybe 18 3/4. So the 20 and a half was definitely a blessing, and hopefully I can catch more. I just missed probably a 15-incher about 15 minutes ago. Jumped out right at the boat. Just throwing wacky. It's super. It's cold out here. It's about a 51 degree water temperatures. I had actually stayed in Ohio. I didn't go to Lake St. Clair or Mississippi. I stayed here close to home. I'm actually around Dayton, Ohio area.
Have you seen Sadiki today? You might wish you would have went to Mississippi.
Well, and I was watching the broadcast, and two guys that you talked to, I said, you got to watch out for them. And I'm hoping that Steve Galinka can pull it off, but I know he's got his hands full. But seems like I told you guys the northern lakes, the smallies are just on fire right now.
Are they?
Those guys are going to be hard to beat. And Jonathan Pepin and Eric Siddiqui were two of my picks to get bigger bags for the day. So,
dude,
yeah,
I am just like you guys were yesterday with this Doug Wilson matchup. I am obsessed with this Glinka, and I'm obsessed with their matchup. They're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and that's what we wanted to see in this thing.
Yeah, for sure. And Steve Glinka, I don't know where he ended up going. I know the Illinois fishing was kind of rough to fish in Illinois. I'm also looking to see has Patrick Pooty Tharp caught anything today? Is he on the board yet?
We actually only
potential second round matchup for me if I can get past Randy Wagner out of Iowa. I think Randy's not got anything yet, but who knows if he's got bad service or it's just a real bad day out there. But
we
hoping
only
to get my 5-fish limit.
That have fish.
Okay. Yeah, it's cold. I'm here in Ohio. It's cold outside.
All the power to you guys. I'm sitting here.
Can only imagine how cold it is for Pepin about 600 miles north of me, 500 miles north of me.
Dude had a toboggan, a jacket, a hoodie, a long sleeve shirt, and gloves on, and I'm just sitting here like, nope, not for me, man.
John's a trooper, like I said. He's always in online tournaments. He always does well up there. So I knew that he knows what he's doing up there in his home water. So I think that he's, like I said yesterday, he's a dark horse to probably win the whole thing. I would definitely keep my eye out for him for sure.
Well, I'll tell you this, the entire state of Texas is looking really bad right now. Ross Pinkerton just threw up a couple of fish. He's at 37 3/4, but that's as high as Texas gets today. So I don't know what's going on in Texas. Mark Pendergraph hasn't put up anything. None of the Fentress clan have put anything. Matthew Flett still blanked. Delgado's blanked. Man, Texas is taking a hit today.
Yeah, for sure. And, like I said, I think that the weather is just, it might be right for the next several weeks for the northerners that maybe have a slight advantage.
Well, I really wished I would have fished today after the forecast, after seeing what's going on today, though. Man, I would have been a little bit nervous because these northern guys, they are really putting on a clinic today. A couple of Florida anglers are doing pretty good, but for the most part, man, it's northern guys. You guys are crushing it.
Yeah, it was something that I had predicted based off of the people that I seen out of the north that were in this event, and we'll see what happens. But we got a big grind for the rest of the day. What do we got? It's 11:45, so we got about 5 hours and 15 minutes to go. So the next 5:15, I need to put up 4 more fish. That's for sure. I knew that.
Well, man, we'll let you get to it. Being able to watch you all day yesterday, you're really close to us, so we're following along in your matchup. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
No, not really. just out here having fun, man. I'm out here with my buddy Mike. So shout out to him for hanging out with me, and And other than that, good luck to Siddiqui and everybody else out there. Just be safe. Make sure you get to make it home to your families. This is just fun fishing, so be safe out there on the waters. Your loved ones are the thing that's most important. So make sure you get to make it home at the end of the day, and that's what matters.
Amen to that, man. Well, you have a great day on the water. Hopefully, we're doing a live interview with you this evening when you're in first place. So we'll go from there.
I'm gonna have to go get that same fish to bite, maybe color or tail or something.
Last question: How many inches overall with all these hammers we got today? What's the total amount of inches takes first place overall?
97 3/4.
97 3/4. All right. Well, Eric Siddiqui's at 93 3/4, so he's 2 fish away.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Thanks
for having me on. I appreciate you.
No problem.
Bye. All right, bye-bye.
All right, so he's excited about his. We did just get Mr. Booth watching again. He hasn't been able to post a fish yet. Mr. Booth, I know you're out there grinding. Jeff Isham, shout out to you, brother. I know you had a heck of a day yesterday on Sam Rayburn, if I'm not mistaken. Dwayne Wally, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for allowing all this to happen, because without you and this Tourney X system, man, there would have been no possible way we could even be doing this right now. Someone else, Ross Pinkerton, just threw up some numbers. Who is going against Ross? Let me see if I can find that out real quick. Who is Ross going up against? Because Ross just jumped way up on the leaderboard. He's going up against Charter Williams. And Ross just threw up 91 inches. So we do have some Texas fish getting caught. That's what I've been looking for. Let me see if I can get Ross on. I'll message him. We'll see if Ross will answer. And we'll see if we can get him on. And I'm going to message Glinka. I'm going to see if he doesn't have Skype. I'm going to see if we can get a phone call into him. And that way he can tell us a little bit. I already messaged Thomas. I haven't got a response yet. These guys are out there grinding. So here we go. Ross Pinkerton threw up a 21, a 20, a 17.5, a 16 3/4, and a 15 3/4. That dude just jumped all the way up into second place and is giving Siddiqui a run for his money. So these two guys are Eric's fishing in Mississippi. I believe Ross is fishing in Texas. They are going at it. Let's see here. Jason Starley. Jason, I am going to get you on, you and Andy Green. I'm just trying to get some of these guys that are leading here on as well. I did promise Andy Green we'd get him on, so we're going to try that also. But Jason, private message me. Let me know that you've got your Skype working, and we're going to give you a shot. We definitely want to hear your story, man. It's going to be a good one. I know the water snake story has got me tripping still. All right, let's. I messaged those guys. Let me go ahead and give Andy Green a call. Here we go. We'll try giving old Andy a call. I don't personally know Andy. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he took out Clint Ryther yesterday. Not 100%. Did I spell it right? I did, but it's not pulling up. Andy, if you're watching, the email you sent me is not pulling up. Jason, we'll see if we can get old Jason on here. Message him, see if he's on there. We'll see if we can get... might even see if old Jeff wants to come in here and commentate. Jeff? We'll see if Elisha wants to jump in here for a little while. I'm just kind of following along here, trying to get some of these guys. Oh, Andy Green is messaging me. Let me see here. Skype can be tricky. I can... Well, we're going to work on this here as well, following along in this. Jason Garner, I believe, just threw up some more fish, knocking Mr. Pepin down to 10th place. But you got to watch out for that, man, because he's just a couple fish away from busting it out big. So, oh, here we go. All right, we're gonna get Andy up next. I'm gonna go ahead and get Ross in here just because he threw up that big number on today. I want to go ahead and get as many in that are fishing today before I get on to tomorrow. But we are for sure going to get Andy Green, Jason Starley, and maybe a couple others in here. I really want to hear all their stories. So we're gonna see. I've got two different ones pulling up for Ross, so we're going to see which one it is. So apparently, that wasn't the correct one. We'll try this one. Yep, this is it.
Hello?
Mr. Pinkerton!
How's it going?
It's going good. You're on the live broadcast here, so everybody's listening in to you.
All right, cool.
The camera's not on just yet. I don't know if that's on your phone or on our end because Skype has been being difficult all morning long.
Let's see here. Do I need to do something?
Just check and see if your app says your camera's on. There we go. Now we got you.
Got it.
So, man, an absolute fan favorite going into this matchup. Did you just have bad service, or did you just get into a bunch of fish?
Yeah, I had bad service earlier. I actually, I had the old Turning X app on my phone. I had to re-download the new one.
Man, you just jumped up into second place out of nowhere.
Yeah, I had a good morning. First thing, I caught a 21 on a glide bait, like fourth cast. And after that, I started catching some smaller ones, some 16s and 15s on a crankbait and a fluke. And then I just picked up another 20-incher on the glide bait.
You want to tell us, you don't have to. I know everybody, some people are keeping a secret, some people are advertising. You want to tell us what body of water you're on, or you want to keep that for the end?
Oh, I can tell everybody. I'm on Lake Whitney.
Okay. And it's obviously paying off to you. I mean, you're giving Siddiqui a run for his money right now. And, you know, that's kind of what I told everybody is it's round one, just like in college basketball, man. The first round, everybody's just wanting to say, hey, you know, I'm not someone to play around with. Is that your mindset, or are you just going out there and fishing?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. We had a Fort Worth Kayak Anglers of Fort Worth tournament here a couple weeks ago, and I came out here and pre-fished for it and fished it, and I tied for third in that event, and I figured out a few things, mainly this glide bait deal. Just going around like the deeper points in the clear water and throwing this guy around.
Well, man, I've got to say, Texas hasn't been doing well at all today, and you came in and just put it on the map.
Yeah, like I was saying, I've had the opportunity to fish this lake 4 times in the last 2 weeks, so I figured a couple things out, and I'm just going to some high percentage areas and seeing what happens.
How do you like this this format of tournament?
It's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. I love the way you guys are advertising it and promoting it. You know, getting it out there. You know, doing stuff like talking to anglers is cool. You know, it's different. If I was fishing a regular tournament, I'd be thinking I'm finishing in the top 2 or 3. And right now, I mean, who knows? The guy I'm fishing against could come in with 102 inches, and I just have no idea. You know.
He hasn't put anything up yet, but he could also be in an area with bad signal. I know a lot of places on Fork don't have real good signal, and I don't know if that's where he's at or not. But you know, if anybody that goes to Lake Fork, everybody already knows, man, it only takes 1 hour.
Right. Yep. That's it, man. Just 1 good hour, and you could have 100 inches easy.
Absolutely. Well, you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Yeah, I guess my buddy Brian Pierce and Hayden Crossnow, my 2 Fort Worth guys.
I'm going against Crossnow next week.
Good luck, man. You got your work cut out for you. He's a good fisherman.
Oh, I completely believe it. Him and Craig Knight tied yesterday. I know they grinded all day long. But yeah, I got Crossnow next week, so we'll see how that goes. But I'll let you get to it, man. We're watching you. How many inches is it going to take to be number 1 overall today?
97, I think.
97 total. Okay. Well, that's the lowest we've had so far, but you know, that was the highest yesterday. So.
Yep. Just judging by the way things are going, I think upper 90s will be it.
Well, man, hopefully we're touching base with you later on with a live interview to find out what you changed to get to call a few more and get up to 97.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Take it easy.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we got that going. Now let's get Andy Green on here. I know he has been waiting patiently. So let's try Andy Green. He actually had messaged earlier on trying to get into it. And you know, I appreciate. I know he's been patient with us. So let's try giving him a call. I'm gonna try his email one more time, and then if that doesn't work, we're gonna. Oh, he's actually got a. No, his phone number's not pulling up either. Let's try his email one more time, and then if that doesn't work, we'll let him try to call in. All right, nope, that doesn't work. So we're gonna give it a minute, let him try to call in, and see if that works. Let me answer a couple on this here. Randy Franklin is headed to his backup lake. I guess his primary one didn't pay out too well. Good luck out there to you, Randy. Shout out to Jeff. Hey, buddy. Charlene, it is cold. Good morning, Mr. Kennan. I don't know if any of you guys know much about Mr. Kennan. That dude is a stick. He fished 5 out of the 10 hours yesterday and put up the biggest limit of the day in half the time other anglers were on the board. Who does that? Oh, here we go. Good afternoon, Mr. Andy.
Hey, is this Marcus?
This is Marcus.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm doing good. I've got you on audio. I do not have you on camera.
Okay. Would you rather me switch to camera, or is audio good?
I mean, if you want to stay on audio, that's perfectly fine. It's totally up to you.
Okay. Let me see if I can do camera here without hanging up. New to Skype, so.
Are you fishing today too?
No, I'm not fishing today.
Oh, okay. I just heard the outside noises. I didn't know if you went ahead and got on the water again.
Oh no, I'm just on my porch.
Man, how does it feel to know that you went head to head with a heavy stick in Arkansas and took him to the porch?
Yeah, it was Jason O'Brien, and he was out of Texas.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I apologize. You did not go against Ryder. You went against O'Brien, but still, Jason O'Brien, man, I had him. You busted my bracket to pieces.
Well, man, I mean, dude, anytime you go against somebody from Texas and where we fish, I mean, we have healthy fish, but they're just built different. You know, we've got these short, chunky deals. So I went to a lake that I had never been to before. I got to pre-fish on Thursday, and I drove about 2.5 hours to get to it. And I'm kind of more comfortable with like deeper, clearer water, like for Louisiana. I know that sounds weird, but like I'm like jerkbait, crankbait, that type of deal.
Oh, so
But
you're
our
like
local
another
stuff has
Derek
just been
Brundle.
off. What's that?
You're like another Derek Brundle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've got some diversity, you know. But anyway, our local stuff was off, so I went to this lake in the middle of nowhere that's like 3 feet deep, and fished cypress trees all day and had a blast.
That's awesome. What do you want to share? What lake you fished? Or you want to save it to the end?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you followed MLF at all, in 2019 they had the World Cup on these Oxbow lakes, Lake Bruin, Lake St. John, kind of some stuff that's like west of Natchez. So I went to one of the lakes that was on that rotation.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Well,
Not a lot of people know about them. I mean, they're smaller lakes. I think the one I fished is probably about, I don't know, 4,500 acres. But definitely, like, there's not much out there, you know. So I was able to get away from some pressure and get away from recreational traffic, which has been terrible here with the shutdown.
well, man, you got to be feeling pretty good about yourself. I mean, you taking down Jason O'Brien and Jason. I mean, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody that lost yesterday, and we all know it was a grind. You know, it's April Madness just like it is March Madness. Trash talk is part of the game. Jason O'Brien is a heavy stick. And he couldn't get the bite together yesterday. You took him down. You showed no mercy, and man, you got to be happy to know that you're probably picked as one of the favorites to make it into the Sweet 16.
I am extremely happy and surprised too, man. I mean, like I said, anytime you go against a guy from Texas, you got to bring it. I fished in Texas. I know what it's like, you know. My only deal that, you know, the place I fished is really, really shallow. So when you get like a shallow fishery like that, they can be volatile. So hopefully it holds up for the next couple of weeks.
Well, let me ask one question about it, because living in just south of Malvern, Arkansas, being only 2 hours from Caddo, I love fishing North Louisiana lakes. Did you throw a wacky worm at all?
I did not. And you know what? I left all the spinning rods I had at home, so I wouldn't even be tempted to do that. It's
Oh,
just boring.
really?
You know, I mean, yeah, it catches fish, but man, I didn't want to go that way. And trying to fight, you know, a 4.5, 5 pound bass out of some shallow water with, you know, with light line is scary, dude.
Oh,
So
you're telling
I
me I lost that
put the
eight
flipping
pounder
stick
on
in my
live
hand
feed
yesterday.
yesterday. That's exactly what I was doing, was fighting big bass with light line on a spinning rod out of thick grass all day yesterday. Had that 8 pounder break off on the live broadcast. And you know, the difference was if I'd have landed that fish, I probably would have been, you know, really close, if not the first place bag of the day. And you know, honestly, that could have cost me.
Yep.
And so, you know what I've done, and I say light line. I was using 15-pound fluoro, but you know, one rub against the log, and that line was completely frayed, so it was an easy snap for it.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly have got to switch up my complete game plan, because you know, now that we've moved on to the 32 round, you know, we just took the field from 64 sticks and underdogs to the fact that everybody that makes it to the next round should at that point be considered a stick, because they're there.
You're right. You're right. It's only going to get tougher as it goes, man.
And I don't know if you've been following the broadcast today, but do you see these northern guys putting on a clinic on these southern guys today?
I checked in a couple hours ago. I need to look at it again. I've been going through some footage from yesterday, but yeah, I need to check that out.
It makes me feel real happy that we're on the left side of the bracket, let me tell you.
Did we get the easy side?
I mean, I wouldn't call it easy. We still have, I mean, in our bracket, we still got Isham and Kennan. And then above us, we still have, I don't care if he only caught 2 fish yesterday. Mark Edwards, in my book, is always going to be considered a heavy stick. He probably just had rough weather. Above us, we got Edwards, we got Benetti, we got Wilson still. I mean, there's a ton of heavy sticks, and there's still underdogs. A lot of underdogs made it through. But at this point, I don't consider anybody an underdog. At this point, I consider you a competitor.
Right, right.
I'm just
It's always fun to upset the pundits, no doubt about it.
110%. And let's see, we did have an upset, and I don't know why I thought it was you. I probably recognized your name because I was following Jason O'Brien so closely because I've got mad respect for the guy. He's just a stand-up character. It was Joe Douglas, a 16 seed upset Clint Ryther, I believe is what it was. So we did have a 16 beat a 1 yesterday. And I mean, we still got we have one. I'm sorry, Eric Sadiki's leading. So Brad Case is picked as a 1 seed right now. As far as I see here, he still hasn't uploaded a single fish.
Oh wow.
So I got.
And I know Brad's in Mississippi. They're getting hit with some weather today, man.
Yeah, I know, but Eric Sadiki is in Mississippi, and he is leading the pack.
Oh wow.
He drove from Ohio to Mississippi to fish it. Somebody just threw. Charner Williams just threw up 2 fish at 45, so he's trying to make a comeback at Pinkerton in second place.
Yeah. Siddiqui catches him everywhere he goes, man. That guy's phenomenal.
Man, I tell you right now, if I was anybody in the ball game and I had to go up against Siddiqui, I would be nervous because that is one of those guys just like Cody Milton or Derek Brundle. You never know when a 90 to 100 inch day is coming because it doesn't matter what body of water they're on.
You're right.
Me and Siddiqui talked all night Friday night. And he just kept telling me we were talking about different lakes to fish because that's what we do. We both love to travel and fish different bodies of water. And I swear, every lake he fished, he had a story about, I went there one day and caught 107 1/4.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm sitting here like, well, I don't want to face you, but he's a hammer, man. That's the greatest part about this is that, guys like me, guys like you, guys like Greg, all these people get to go up against Siddiqui, but not worry about other anglers. It's us, it's them.
It's very, very cool, dude. And I see it really taking off, man. The response has been phenomenal. And thank you all for the work you've done with it, dude. It's been, I think it's going to be great.
Man, I got to give hands down to Greg Nozar and Dwayne Wally. I mean, those guys have really stepped up the game to make this possible. And honestly, as an avid tournament angler myself, fishing every one of the major series, I got to say, I'm more excited about this style of kayak fishing than I have ever been any other tournament. It is so, man, 10 hours is a long day, but being under that clock and knowing that even though they said no sandbagging, people still like to sandbag, my anxiety was out the roof. My last cast was at 4:58, and I broke a fish off at 4:59.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, dude, I was, I checked the leaderboard a few times and I kept thinking, I was like, there's no, I was like, I got a call. I just, you're never safe. You can't let off the gas, So that was really cool. Way different than a traditional tournament, just like with mindset,
Who's your opponent going into the 32 round?
I'm going against 16 seed.
Joe Douglas.
Yeah, Arkansas guy, right?
No, he's from Kansas.
Kansas guy.
He caught his fish yesterday grinding out deep crankbaits on the rocks. And if I'm not mistaken, Kansas is supposed to get some warmer weather next week, which could very well push their fish up into pre-spawn. Yep. Man, how does that make you feel knowing against? Because I'm assuming your fish are probably post-spawn already.
My fish are very post-spawn. I mean, the water temp I saw yesterday was like 69 when I launched and then 72, 73 when I took out. And it's been warm like that for a few weeks. It's if I make the 8, I'm going to go to either Toledo Bend or maybe Gunnersville. For the round 32, I'm going to fish the same lake. And honestly, it depends on the wind. When I say the entire lake is 3 feet deep, the entire lake is 3 feet deep. I saw no water deeper than that. So a hard wind could muddy it up. I mean, anything could happen. I don't know the place. But shallow fisheries, man, they can be really on or they can be really, really off.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious.
Are you going to take a wacky worm with you next week?
I am, yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Man, I can't help it. I see cypress, I throw wacky worms. It's just, once you fish Caddo Lake one time, that's just what you do from then on out.
Yeah, and Greg Blanchard kind of got, I think, the whole country thinking that, with the national championship last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. When I go fish Lake Conway up here, a little bit north of me, when I fish White Oak down south of me, man, that's my favorite two go-to baits because there's so much cypress. Flick that
Yep.
wacky worm in there, twitch it 2 times, and hang on tight. It's like a clockwork.
Yeah. I guess, what I did yesterday was kind of different, man. Like the bottom where I couldn't find any hard bottom. It was this soupy, mucky kind of gumbo mud stuff. So I figured, it's shallow, the bottom's soft, they're going to want to feed up. They don't want to pick anything off the bottom. So I pegged a 5/8 ounce tungsten on a plastic, and I almost fished it like a swim jig. Like I would flip, but I wouldn't let it hit the bottom. I would just kind of burn it back real quick, and they would get it when it was horizontal, not when it was dropping. And until I kind of figured that out, I really wasn't doing much. I think I caught 1 or 2 just hopping it on the bottom like a traditional flip out, let it sink. So it was a pretty cool pattern. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to hold. But we shall see.
We shall see, my friend. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to get a couple more guys on here. I appreciate you sharing your story, man. I look forward to getting an interview in with you on next weekend, man. And good luck. I know those shallow fisheries. My only concern about fishing a complete shallow fishery is the whole lake is either on or off. There's no in between. So when you go out there, it's either going to be great or it's going to be terrible.
That's right. That's right.
So that is a gamble, but you seem confident. You did great this weekend. You took out a major hammer, and we'll keep it rocking and rolling. But how many inches is it going to take to win this thing today? Number 1 overall.
Number 1 overall, I'm going to say 96.
96. So now we have a new lowest. But you never know. You never know what's going to happen. And shortly, here in the next couple hours, we're going to start seeing storms roll through. So that's very possible that it could be 96. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
Not right now. Man, I kind of want to get back and check that leaderboard and see where everybody's at. I hadn't looked at it in a while, so I need to stay up on that.
10-4, boss. Well, I'll get that in here for you. We definitely appreciate you coming on the show. Look forward to talking to you a little bit later, and you have a good day, buddy.
You too, man. Thanks for all the work you're doing. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Bye.
All right, bud.
All right, let's try to get Jason Starley on here. If Dwayne Wally doesn't care, here in a little bit, I kind of like to get Dwayne on here just so he can share things that he's done with Tourney X kind of to make this possible, and things maybe going in the future if he is planning on continuing making something up. 1 second before I do anything else, I think somebody else just threw up fish, and I want to find out who it is. We just moved to 16 out of 32 people have fish on the board. I might have missed it. Patrick Tharp has thrown up his first fish of the day. I believe that said 16 3/4. So Patrick Tharp is officially on the board. So we'll get that. Hopefully we'll get him further up. I know a lot of people are saying that he's going a long way. So let's see. Some of these guys' emails are not working, so I'm just having them call in. We'll see if we can get him on here. Here we go. 14 3/4. I was corrected. Thank you. It is 14 3/4. I'm going to see if I would like to get Jason O'Brien, the Ninja, on to tell us about his story yesterday. I still want to get Jason Starley on here. And if anybody else that is watching does want to come on that fished yesterday, that wants to share their story, come on with it. I'm going to give Greg a call here in a little bit, find out what's going on. I also want to talk into Matt Linesman. Both of them don't have anything on the board at the moment. Maybe even give a call to Matt Fintress, Mark Pendergraft, finding out what's going on with that situation. I know there still hasn't been any fish posted, but we definitely want to get in on that and check in with it. It doesn't look like the Gent Glinka, has moved too much yet. I still haven't been able to get that in there. Shout out to Dustin Arns. He said, "This is my new favorite tourney format." I have to say mine as well. We've talked a little bit about that. Appreciate that as well. Let's see here. I'm trying to follow up with the. You're eating some breakfast. You'll let me know. All right, good deal. Appreciate that. Here we go. Hello, Jason. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey, I got you on there. You got me?
Hey, man.
Your
Trying
camera's
to
not
figure out how to
working.
turn video on.
Yeah, your camera's not working,
Never
but we
used
got you
Skype
on
before.
audio.
Crap, where's it at? What, Shannon? What I hit? Y'all bear with me.
No, you're good. You're good, man. Trust me, Skype has been giving us all kinds of problems all day. There we go.
Hey, here we go.
There we go. Now we got you.
Y'all probably liked it better with the camera off.
Well, Mr. Starley, tell us about your story yesterday. Taking down another major fan favorite. You destroyed a lot of brackets, taking Mr. Dustin Arns out of the picture.
I don't really know what to say. This is not really my first tournament. I've done some KBF state challenges, monthly challenges, and last summer, my wife and I did the Feel Free and Three Waters Summer Slam Customer Appreciation Tournament. That was our first one. We had a blast. It was so much fun. It was basically a free tournament, and you got to win prizes, not money. But we really had fun in it. I came in third, and she came in 15th out of 178 people. So that was awesome. But it was a summer long tournament, so we had all summer to fish and grind it out. Yesterday it was like maybe my second one-day event, so that was different. There's not a whole lot of big fish in Lake Sinclair, it appears, and my bite really died once the wind picked up yesterday. I couldn't make accurate cast under docks and into trees, and that was where all my fish seemed to be. So,
Man, you got to be feeling pretty good about yourself. You're on a stage with some major sticks. You've told us you're not real into the game just yet, so you haven't fished with a lot of these guys just yet. But man, you're competing with some heavy hammers. You just topped one of them.
no offense to any of these guys, but a lot of them, like Dustin, I haven't even heard of him just because I'm so new. You know, I've been kayak fishing for several years just for fun, but new to tournament fishing, definitely.
Well, man, that's the greatest part about being what we would call a ghost is that some people might underrate you, and then you come out, do your thing, show them what you're talking about, show them what you're made of, and the next thing you realize, everyone's going, "Who is this Starley guy?"
I don't know, man. I'm going to do my best. I don't think I've ever had 100-inch day for sure. So
Who's your opponent next week?
Conrad Benetti.
Woo! You're taking on the barbarian, the trash talking man himself.
Yeah, Fellsmere.
Don't let him get in your head now, because he's gonna try.
No offense to anyone, but to be honest, it's the stick marsh down there that's more in my head than who I'm competing against.
Hey, look, man, that just like yesterday, you competed with Fellsmere yesterday. You were only about 8 inches shy of the best that Fellsmere could produce. So, and you had a rough day yourself. So you never know. It could be worse weather next weekend. The weatherman's never right, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen between now and then. But you're fishing Georgia waters, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, those Georgia waters put up a lot of big fish. If there was anyone that was going to contend with Fellsmere, man, you've got a shot.
I sure hope so. Really thinking about going and trying somewhere else next week, but I honestly don't really do any traveling and fishing because of work, so don't really know any other places that are public that well. So I don't know. I might try to take a day off work and go try somewhere and just see how it goes. So,
I tell you what, if you are in Georgia, the one person that I could think of that I might ask if they knew a body of water, if I was going to ask somebody, would be Clint Henderson. So
yes,
if you
sir. He's a hammer.
He is. So if you want to find out where some Georgia fish are, man, that dude shares information all the time. He doesn't have any problems. You might just give him a shout, see what his recommendation is, and then compare it to what you think's going to happen.
That's good advice. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's no problem. So tell me about these water snakes, man.
I got hung up in that treetop there, actually right beside one of them, and snakes don't bother me. You know, I would have been a little more nervous if it'd been cottonmouths, which I actually thought they were at first glance, because I'm just not used to seeing water snakes that big, and I lived beside a creek, grew up staying in a creek, you know, more than I was in the house, so yeah, I was around snakes all the time, but those were two of the biggest water snakes I've ever seen.
How big were
Kind
they?
of cool. They were over 4 foot long.
Woo!
It's hard to tell because they were coiled up, kind of. But there's pictures on the Kayak Bass Bracket page.
So I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I was fishing Nickajack in the FLW tournament last year, the FLW kayak series, and I was throwing a wacky rig on a rock wall, and I hung it up on this rock, and I pulled my kayak on up there, just irritated. I had my buddy laughing behind me, and I pulled it up there, and man, this entire rock, and I'm talking about it's more like concrete slab, was covered everywhere you looked with water snakes, and I guarantee you some of them suckers were wrist thick. And I'll tell you right now, I didn't get my bait back. I said, nope, y'all can have it. Pop.
Oh man, water snakes won't hurt you.
Hey, look.
Well, I mean they'll bite you, but it's not any different than getting scratched by a briar or something. Wasp and yeah, that's big red wasp nest and guinea wasps. That's what worry me.
Well,
I don't have to worry about them on Lake Sinclair really, but some of the other private places that I fun fish, there's stumps and bushes all around the bank, and you get hung up in them, and you go to get your bait, and there's a red wasp nest the size of a basketball right by you, and that's when I cut my line and move on.
how many inches is it going to take to win this thing today?
Today, oh wow, I can't see the leaderboard while looking at this, or I'll probably
Leaderboard right now has got the highest is 93.3 quarters, then you got 91, and then you got 86 and a quarter behind it.
Oh goodness, it sounds like somebody's going to bust 100 inches today.
So we're going with over 100. That's what Siddiqui says it's going to take a round or over 100 to get it done today.
It sure sounds like I'm going to say 101 3/4 for big bag today.
Who takes it between Brad Case and Jason Booth? Josh Booth, not Jason. Josh Booth.
I got to say I'm rooting for Josh Booth because we both fish out of Feel Free Kayaks.
Right on.
I know he's on the fishing team there. I'm not on a fishing team anywhere or sponsored by anyone, but I do love my kayak. It's been awesome. I got to give a shout out to Fletch Griffin at Westbrook Supply Company for hooking my wife up with hers when we bought, and giving me a great deal on her kayak for her anniversary present last year. And I fished out of it when I had the chance, and fell in love with it and had to get my own. So I've had it about a month now, and I love that thing.
Right on. Well, you never know who's watching these things. I know Josh Booth has been watching off and on all day, especially with him being on the Feel Free team. Go ahead and talk about your kayak a little bit. Tell them what you like about it.
Oh well, goodness, I can. Waves yesterday 2 and 3 foot high between the wind and jet skiers and pleasure boaters. No problem. My seat all the way up in a high position. I never had to worry about it. Yes, don't try to stand up in those conditions and wouldn't in any kayak. But I'm tempted to try it if I didn't have all my gear, to lose. But rock solid. I got the wheel and the keel, so I can roll it down the ramp and not have to deal with, a cord or any of that stuff. I can put all my rods inside the kayak. I love that. I haven't ever been able to do that before. I can put 15 rods inside the kayak. This just holds everything. Has the overdrive pedal system, so no more lugging trolling motor batteries and dealing with all that. No registration. I just really enjoy it.
Well,
Can't
good.
beat the seat.
Well, good deal, man. Hey, I appreciate it. You coming on. We loved your story. We were following it all day. You had a great day. I'm rooting on you against Benetti. I gotta say, it would be nice to someone to knock off one of them Fellsmere guys. But man, you just keep out there grinding, keep doing what you're doing, and I got no doubt in my mind you're gonna come out. You're gonna come out in this thing.
I'm going to give it my all, regardless of who I'm up against. I just enjoy it. It's so much fun. We have a bass boat, and we fished just maybe 2 or 3 tournaments out of it. And we didn't do bad, but we didn't do that great. But either way, it wasn't fun. Fishing itself is fun, but the tournament scene just wasn't fun. So we just didn't bother with that anymore. And really didn't get into the kayak tournaments until we did that SummerSlam last year. And it was just so much fun. And like I said, it was a summer-long event, so we had all summer, and it was always, we got to go out and upgrade, and we got to do it together. Her back has been bothering her a whole lot lately, so she wasn't able to join me in this one, but hopefully in coming tournaments I can get her out there on the water with me, because day to day she usually outfishes me, to be honest. I go more than her, so in these longer events I can pull ahead, but in a day to day event she's a stick. Just naturally talented.
Funny how that goes.
Oh yes, sir.
Well, I sure do appreciate you coming on, brother. We'll keep you posted. I appreciate you following along, and we look forward to seeing what you got next week.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to do my best. Hopefully a crankbait bite will get back on before then, and I won't have to catch everything on a rubber worm.
I heard that. Well, you take it easy, man, and sit back, enjoy the broadcast, and keep up with the standings.
All right. Yes, sir. Y'all take care.
You too.
God bless. Bye.
All right, so we're about to bring Jason O'Brien on to talk about his day. Real quick before I do that, I am finishing up the current leader status, and then we'll jump on that real fast. So bear with me a second here. You know me and having to type stuff. So we have another fish from John Futch, 80 1/4 now. Let's see here. That has moved him up. So he is now in 5th place. All right. We definitely have some fish going on. People are finally starting to catch fish. We now have 17 out of 32 people with fish on the board. So Randy hasn't caught anything just yet. Nemeth hasn't caught anything. Neither has Oaks, Nozar, Linesman, Delgado, Flett, Fentress. We just had another. Brandon Burton is on the board now. Brandon Burton, he is going up against John. So John, He posted a 12.5-inch fish. Not the greatest, but it puts you on the board and lowers that deficit that you're getting from John. So that's the important part. Now I need to update some of these people that have caught fish here. Jason Gardner, I think I already have on here. He is still beating William Fentress. He's cold a couple too himself. He's up to 79.25, tied up there with Derek Brundle, but has the tiebreaker. Marty Hughes just threw up some fish. He jumped up to 52.75. He is going up against Mr. Garcia. I apologize, guys, for the wait here. We'll go ahead and bring Jason on, and then I'll do this part later. So we'll go ahead and bring on the Ninja. The Ninja, Jason O'Brien. Mr. O'Brien.
Hey,
How you doing, buddy?
pride's hit a little bit, but I'm good.
Hey, I have got to say, going into it, you were not only KBN's fan favorite, you were picked to make it to the elite, at least the Elite Eight in every single bracket that was turned in.
Yeah, like I said, the pride got hit a little bit, but that's fishing, right?
That's fishing. So tell us
Fishing.
about your day. I seen you posted up 2 good fish. Was the bite just not on? That north wind hit you a little too hard?
Well, what's crazy is here in Texas, we've been hit with literally record rainfalls, and our lakes are so flooded. And all my go-to spots are just so flooded. Now, you'd think flooded water is a good place to fish. I love fishing fresh flooded water, but when it's beyond flooded, it's back into stuff that it just makes it really, really tough. And my go-to lake at this time of year is Ray Roberts, and I didn't have no luck there this year at all. And I was like, and every day I fished this year, it's been on a cold front, and it really affects down here. It affects us a lot, and anywhere it does. But for some reason, a hard cold front here really shuts us down in springtime. So with all the rain, and then unlike also most lakes in the country, when they start, generating out of lakes, our fish here turn off. Where most lakes, they turn on because we don't generate like that here. So it was a combo. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the river. And I went below Possum Kingdom, where you can catch good limits and good fish. And man, it just wasn't there. I started off with that one good fish, and I was like, okay, cool, it's gonna have a good day. And then it just went bad, and I did a lot of paddling, a lot of casting, and a lot of going. I ended the day losing like an 18 right at the boat, and said, well, wasn't my day. It was rough.
Man, you definitely, that just goes to show everybody, you win some, you lose some.
That.
But I've got to say, are you going to be signing up for the May one as well?
I got to, man. This is really fun. It's exciting, to go, like you said, this part of the aspect is really fun. Here I am, day after I'm watching, paying attention what everybody else is doing. Although we do that with the regular tournaments, but this is kind of a different format, although everybody wants to be number one at the day, as far end of the day when it comes to being number one and putting out the biggest numbers. But really all you're fishing against is the guy that you're against. And that's really fun. I mean, Andy Green put a whooping to me, and hats off to him. He did a good job. And that's it, though. You're just focused on one guy, and that's a really fun format. I think it is going to take off just because of that part. You get to pick where you want to go. Maybe things will change later in the future, maybe when it gets down to the championship, but who knows? But in the meantime, in this present situation, I don't know. I see this staying for a while.
Well, man, I've got to say, as far I know you have fished at least one, if not multiple, at every single one of the big leagues. So have I. That's kind of where we met, was Nickajack. That's
Yes.
where we started our friendship at. So I
Yes,
have
sir.
got to say, I am more excited about this format than any other tournament I've ever been in.
I agree. I don't. It's like as we got closer and closer to the tournament, I was like, man, I'm really excited about this, And I was like, man, I'm just as nervous I am as any of the big tournaments that we've done, where you're just, you're wanting to do good and you're going through all your thought process, what you want to fish, what you don't want to miss, what you do want to throw, all the process that we go through. And I was like, man, okay, and then you come back and you make choices. And I think that's the big deal between kayaks and bass boats is the choices that we make on that day affect us through the whole day. We can't just pack up and go to a different part of the lake. We have to hunker down and fish, and bad choices can get us. And good choices can save us, So that's makes it really fun. The whole thing is really fun.
Well, so I'm going to go ahead and go over these the leaders and how much they're over right now. And I know you know a lot of these guys, so we'll get your input on it since we got you on camera. Siddiqui just upgraded, so he has a 96.5-inch lead over Zach Adams. How would you feel right now if you're Zach Adams looking at that bracket?
Man, when that Siddiqui gets going, it's hard to slow him down. You start out. If I'm that guy, I'm gonna start swinging for the fence. I'm gonna make sure I'm not gonna throw smaller fish baits. I'm gonna start throwing big fish baits. I'm gonna grab the jig and I'm gonna hang on. I'm gonna get busy with the jig, and hopefully I can hang and shine at the end. That's what I'm be thinking. But when the Siddiqui gets rolling, man, whew.
I mean, tough. At this point, he's got momentum. He's out there having fun. We talked to him earlier. He's just laughing like casual, like nothing's going on. I'm with you.
We're in that mode. We've all been there. It's like, oof, it's everything's clicking. That's hard to beat.
I'm with you. If I'm Zach Adams, I'm grabbing a 6-inch glide bait. I'm throwing a big swim bait. I'm throwing something where I'm officially for the rest of my day. The next 5.5 hours, I am not fishing for 10 fish. I am fishing for 5.
Yes, agreed.
I've got Sherman Bishop with a 52-inch lead over Rolando Martin out of Texas. Texas just now started putting fish on the board here recently, so there is still a good chance that Rolando Martin can pull something out of his hat.
I don't know where he's fishing, but yeah, I would think so. The South has been fishing. Anything around Austin and South has been fishing a lot better than anything North. But I will say there is a massive storm going through East Texas right now. I'm like, I got some buddies out there fishing, flat, and I'm like, whew, it's a nasty storm going through there right now. So that's another thing cool about this tournament setup. Weather plays a huge factor. And it is what it is. We're kayaks. We go out when the bass boats go in, it seems like.
Every single time.
Yep.
Derek Brundle with a 79.25 lead over Chris Delgado, who has yet to put up a fish today.
He may not have good cell service. I didn't have zero cell service hardly yesterday.
Knowing Chris Delgado, do you think that's what it is? You think he's sitting on 5 fish?
I would think so. I mean, zero right now at this time. It could happen. I mean, look, I only had two fish for me yesterday, so I think he's probably got bad cell service. So it's or he could be sandbagging. Who knows?
Absolutely. I mean, I was looking at that all day. I mean, it's the only thing that leads me to believe it is possible is there are still. I mean, Mark Pendergraft hasn't put up a fish yet.
Yeah, there you go. I mean. He may be fishing. I don't know. There's so many spotty. You'd think Texas would have, as much as our population, we'd have some really good cell service, but no. Unless you're the big,
Mark did tell me he would have cell service today for a Skype call in case he was doing really good.
Oh boy.
So that's what I'm confused about. He told me he was going to have cell service. He hadn't put up a fish yet.
Man, I'm telling you, these fronts here, these fish are like confused. I mean, you talk about what's his face. It was 33 degrees. It was 37 degrees when I launched yesterday here in Texas.
47 where I was at in Arkansas.
47. See, it doesn't even make any sense. But that's
it's ridiculous. It's April now. It's almost May. Get over with it.
I agree, because this is ridiculous. But hey,
John Futch out of Florida, who's put on a clinic off and on all day, has a 67 3/4 inch lead over Brandon Burton, who just put up a barely legal fish, but it's still a legal fish. At this point, with a 67 3/4 lead, knowing he's still got 4 fish to feed, are you swinging for the fences just yet, knowing you have an hour more to fish than him, or are you going to keep fishing your
60,
same way?
I'm gonna stay to my pattern. At 67, that's you're not smashing. You know what I mean? So you still got a chance. You can go, like you said, an hour can change that. Boom, boom, boom,
and
boom.
He's got an extra hour on top of it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep grinding my way. Halfway through, if I'm not doing good, now it's time to start really changing. But that's me.
Matchup of the day so far, 2 northern guys. Thomas Gent out of Maine has now gone down to a 14 1/4 lead over Steve Glinka in Illinois.
Man, those guys are slugging it out.
Whew, dude, they have been swapping places more times than I can count today. I don't really know much about the northern fisheries, but those 2 guys are swinging at it.
They are. That's what's cool. Again, without looking at the whole aspect, there's matchups on top of matchups, and you're watching these. That's fun. That's just fun. That's why we do it. It's fun. This is really neat and great to watch. You're like, hey, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's like, oh wait, we forgot about this guy. Oh, here he comes. Like, oh, this guy is like, oh, that's fun.
You go into it thinking, oh, I'm from the South, I automatically have a win in the book, and then everybody forgets. In North, a 4-pound smallmouth is 20 inches.
And those guys were crushing them at St. Clair. 100-inch limits for like nothing there. Like a couple weeks, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want to fish against the North guy right now.
Me either, bro. I am trying to stay out of that. Marty Hughes did just upgrade, so his lead, Anthony Garcia's lead, is not as high as it was, but a minute ago, Anthony Garcia had a 25 3/4 lead over Marty Hughes. That's gone down a little bit. Man, California versus Nebraska. You couldn't. I mean, that's 2 big bass fisheries just duking it out.
Yeah, it always surprised me that Nebraska's got such good fish, but they do, and Marty will pull some good fish out of there. And California, well, I got no experience out there, but only wanting to go fish some of those giant lakes, giant bass.
You wouldn't want to go fish it if there wasn't giant fish there.
I mean, come on. I mean, the Delta, that's like dream fishery. Like frogs and what? Are you serious? Come on.
Anthony Garcia actually has less than 9-inch lead over him now.
Oh, I'm telling you, don't. That's another Duke battle right there.
Well, Marty Hughes accidentally fished yesterday and put up 86 inches in like the first couple hours.
Oh man, that would be rough.
At this time yesterday, he had over 80 inches.
Oh my god!
And Rolando Naughton, out of Texas, that dude had a 23. He had like almost 100 inches, if I remember correctly, yesterday. Both of them accidentally fished yesterday.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Like, that's a great story within it. I mean, talk about if you're Rolando and you lose, you'd be like, man, but yesterday,
right? That's why you gotta follow the captain's meetings. You gotta read the rules. I hate it for both guys, but you gotta pay attention, man.
That's it. Oh, that's the truth. I mean, I had many questions like, man, I'm kind of confused here for a minute. One are fishing Saturday, some are fishing Sunday, it's like, okay, it's kind of crazy. Both from Texas, some fishing Saturday, some fishing Sunday. But yeah, man.
Speaking of Matthew Flett, he just put up some fish. He now has a 50.5-inch lead over Randy Franklin out of Wisconsin. Randy commented earlier saying he is headed to his backup lake. Wisconsin is, and I could be wrong, is Wisconsin Central or is it Mountain Time?
I believe it's Central.
Okay, so they're on the same page. Yeah, it probably, if you have 0 fish, it's probably time for a backup lake.
Yeah, Flett's a buddy of mine, and
he's a stick.
He is, and we were talking, and I was, Whitney's doing good right now, and they've been generating a lot there, and I was going to go below Whitney, and I'm telling you, I've had some incredible days.
Speaking of Whitney, Ross Pinkerton
Ross is crushing them
is
there.
smoking them.
Here's what Whitney is like my home lake. That's where I learned. That's where I cut my teeth on bass fishing. My mother-in-law's got a place on the lake. I mean, that's that's where you think I would go there more, right? Oh well.
Man, if I'm Charter Williams right now, I know they fish that central region a lot. I don't know if they're on Cedar Lake or Fork or Hubbard or Athens or whatever, but if I'm Chandler Williams right now, and Ross is throwing up fish like that, man, I'm moving to one of the big bodies of water. I'm going big, and I'm chucking a jackhammer all day and covering as much ground as I can, looking for maybe one or two post spawn or just out of the spawn fish, maybe still possibly on the bed in cooler water.
Yeah. Yes, that's about his best bet. And that's
he knew coming into the game that he was going to have to throw up some bank on Ross Pinkerton. You'd think he'd already be on a big body of water. He's got 50.5 inches right now. I'm assuming that's 3 fish. I haven't looked at it, but man, you got to get with it because Ross is probably not done culling for the day.
Exactly my thoughts. But it can happen.
Hey,
but
anything can happen. It's kayaking, man.
It's true. That's so true.
Oh, someone else just threw up a fish. Let me see if I can find out who that was. We now have 20 out of 32 anglers that have caught fish today, or at least posted. Nemeth just threw up a 16.25, so he's officially on the board.
Yeah, and I'll disclose some. I know that Fretness, he texted me a little bit ago. He's got 2.
Matt or William?
Matt.
So Matt does have a couple fish.
Yeah, did he post them?
He hasn't submitted yet, but he might not have service. He did let me know service might be an issue for him.
Right. That's Texas. You think Athens, I know.
He's not usually a sandbagger as long as I fished with him anyways.
No, we had a great day yesterday,
I can't believe I would be surprised if he didn't go back to Cedar Lake after doing so well on it.
And he they didn't get no chance to even pre-fish that. He just went out there and he's, I have no experience in lake. Cedar, you think it would be a great lake to go to, and it is, but it has only 3 access points on that lake, and it's a really big lake, so it makes it really tough for kayaks unless you know somebody.
I'll tell you, the lake I fished yesterday had 1 boat ramp, and I slept at the ramp, and there was about 60 boats put in before daybreak.
Are you serious?
At least 60 boats. I was fighting boats and wind all day long.
Oh my goodness.
And still was able to put up a good limit with breaking an 8+ off on live feed.
Man, that hurts.
But that's the camera curse, man. That's why you see all these guys today. Ain't none of them fishing when we got them on camera. They're waiting till we get off.
I don't blame you. I don't know. I would have to. I don't know if I could do it myself, but I would try. But I was in the middle of nowhere. Middle of nowhere with a horrible. Yeah, they were generating a lot there, and it was not an easy paddle. I'll tell you that. I had to catch my breath. And I got to my like, what am I doing?
Right.
I mean, shoot, it was. Oh well.
You want to give a shout out to anybody?
Sure, absolutely. Want my wife for supporting me, and God keeps me doing this.
Amen to that. How many inches is it going to take to win this thing today?
I would think. Wait, Sadiqi's going. I don't know if somebody's going to hit 100 today, but they might. But I'll say at least 99. The way 99, it's going.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking because the way he's rolling right now, I mean, he's not done calling. Ross could get a good one and get right up in there too. So. But
I mean, one 22-inch fish, I think, if I looked at it correctly, gives Ross almost 5 inches. So,
ba-boom.
And Texas, that's not a hard thing to do. But, man, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your story. I can't wait to get more interviews in May. I know May is going to be a better fishery in your area. So, I'm going to tell everybody right now, anybody going up against the Ninja in the May bracket, you better come with your A game because we know he is. He's looking for vengeance.
Well, yeah, I guess maybe a little more pride or something, but yeah, absolutely. I'll be It won't because I haven't been trying.
Well, you take it easy, brother. Have a good day. Rest up. I know 10 hours is a long day, and we'll holler at you soon.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so Jason O'Brien, man, we got some people posting fish finally. I'm really starting to dig this Garcia Marty Hughes matchup. It's looking pretty good. I actually want to get in with some people. Here we go. Okay, someone sent me Sadiqi's fish. I know those. Let's try to get some people that haven't necessarily caught anything yet. Let's see what's going on with those guys. Let's try on Ozar. All right, Nozar is offline on Skype. Let's try his competition, Mr. Lensman. Let's see if he has service. Oh, here we go. Oh, was it? Let's try. All right, so Nozar is trying to call me, but it's coming through on my phone, so I'm trying to get him on the computer here. We'll try to. Me and him kind of messed around with Skype. I ended up making 2 profiles by accident last night, so we'll try getting him on the as soon as he answers. There we go. There we go. Mr. Greg!
What do you say, Marcus?
Man, we've had a lot of visitors on the show today.
That is awesome, man. I've been paying a little bit of attention, trying to follow along, man. But, man, I'm just trying to concentrate, catch fish. My goodness, it's been tough.
Well, your competition hasn't thrown up anything yet either.
I don't know what to say, man. You know, we talk a lot of trash, but we're not backing it up right now. Hey, this is a tough one, man. You know, it's one of those things that, you know, we have literally about 2 inches of visibility right now on the river. I've talked to a lot of people that's fishing the same area. It's packed with boats and kayaks. No one has caught a thing. So, I mean, these fish have lockjaw, man.
Well, you know, the northern guys are really putting on a clinic today.
Yeah, man. I was looking at the leaderboard, man. That's awesome. I mean, it's man, I tell you, when the smallmouth fish bite, man, you know, it's that's hard to beat, man. You know,
we have a
stupid largemouth are.
We have 2 real close people that are just going back and forth. One north, one west. We have Thomas Gent and Steve Glinka are going at it. And we have Anthony Garcia and Marty Hughes going at it.
Oh, that's the California-Nebraska matchup, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that, man. I wanted to see how those guys battle it out for sure. And who's in the lead from the?
Anthony Garcia is, but by less than 9 inches.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I knew that was going to be a good matchup to watch. I think that's going to come down to the very last hour for sure. But Anthony's got, I think an hour. Is that right? Or an hour or 2?
No, Anthony's Pacific time, so it's only 9:55 where he's at.
Oh, wow.
So he's still got a long time. Now, Mr. Hughes is on Central time. He's only got 5 hours to do it.
Man, my goodness. Well, man, you know,
the story of the day, though, Josh Booth Brad Case, and Mark Pendergraft are all on the 0 board,
Wow.
as well as Mr. Delgado.
You know, I think Chris probably doesn't have cell phone service. I think he's fished the Sam Rayburn, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what O'Brien said. He thinks that Delgado's sitting on a 5-fish limit that's close to 100.
Yeah, I would say he's probably doing very well, man. But check this out, man. This is what I'm fishing right now.
Boy, that looks good. Not for cold
It
water.
looks good. It's there's got to be fish in here, man. You know, I've been doing everything I can. You know, throwing jackhammers on the edge. You know, we found some grass. I went all the way. I paddled out about 4 or 5 miles up and back of the river and found some grass. The wind is blowing like crazy out in the main river there, man. But you know, just trying to search them now. The tide's getting ready to come in, so hopefully start bringing in the fish. And the tidal change. It fishes just like the Delta of California. Very, very similar. So the wind is blowing the water in, and hopefully starts getting these fish to bite here in the evening. I expected a very slow morning, which definitely occurred, but hopefully with this tidal change and the wind shift, finally this bass will start biting. But I don't know, man.
Man,
We'll
I'll
see.
tell you, if I looking at what you're fishing, if I was fishing, I'd be throwing a wacky worm or a drop shot hooked fluke weightless.
Yeah, I've thrown the kitchen sink at him so far, man. I've done it. Listen, you know, it's just I don't know. Right now I'm throwing a shaky head, just trying to get in and out of the pads. Hopefully, you know, they're maybe just laying down on the bottom here, man. But we'll try, man. We're gonna do everything we can, as I said.
Jason Starley wants to know what happens if you and Matt both skunk.
That is a great question. You know, sitting there thinking about it, because there's quite a few people that don't have anything on the board, right?
There is 12 people that have zeros.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing
there's only 3 matchups that are, but both of so 3 of the 12, 6 out of the 12 people are matched up together.
Gotcha. I mean, the only thing you could do is you would have to do an overtime deal, and it would be working out to where sometime this week those guys would have to fish the same day, you know, and give them, you know, maybe a certain time frame to fish. You would have to work that out between us, the tourney directors, and them, and just have them fish a certain time on a certain day, and then they advance. But it would have to be done within the next maybe 3 days to get an overtime winner. But I wouldn't give them a full day. I would just give them a couple hours.
Oh, that's what you might do is if you can get them both on the same day in the same time period, just first fish.
Yeah, I mean that too, man.
Sudden
just kind of
death.
do. Yeah, just kind of do it. You know, a sudden death type deal. You know.
I guess we cross that bridge when we have to. Hopefully, it's not today.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I hope that never happens, man. But you know, it's. I hope I'm the one who puts the fish up on the board. So let's just say that.
Well, you and we're going to talk to Matt here in a minute too. You guys are going at it. I know it's got to be a grind out there. But man, just keep at it and catch some fish.
Hey, man, that's the goal. Take care, man. You're doing a great job.
I appreciate it, homie. You have a good one.
Take care, man.
All right, let's try getting his competition on the phone real quick. And see how, and then we're going to try some other people that haven't caught anything yet or haven't posted anything, and see what's going on with it. See what their concerns are right now. Greg seems to be staying pretty calm, so I think I'll try that. I can't get his email to pull up. We'll try just giving him a call, so we won't have visual, but I'll have it on speakerphone on my phone. We'll see what Mr. Michigan has to say. Hey, Mr. Matt, this is Marcus. We got you on the broadcast. I couldn't get Skype to work, so I figured I'd just give you a call.
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
So you and Greg probably the biggest trash talking pair of the week. Both of you are sitting at 0 right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had one on earlier this morning, and she just a poor hook set and didn't get her all the way in, and she's been pretty slow up north here. River's about 1.5 foot high, moving pretty quick, and temps about 32 degrees and blowing 15 to 20.
Well, are you still confident you're going to put some fish up knowing, because we just got off the phone with him, he 100% does not have anything. Are you still confident you got this in the bag?
Yeah, I'm still pretty confident. Still fishing my butt off, so.
Hey, at this point, all it takes is one.
What's that?
At this point, all it takes is one.
Yeah, I know, man. I'd feel more comfortable with 5, though.
Hey, I don't know how many tournaments have been won that I've been in where everybody said they caught their fish in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, and that just might be the case today. The wind's starting to die down a little bit, so got a pretty good cloud cover, so hopefully it'll pick up here pretty quick.
All righty, well, we'll let you get back to it, man, and we're watching you guys, so you just get out there, do your thing, and we can't wait to see those fish come across the screen.
All right, great.
Take it easy, man.
You too, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, let's try to get let's see if Matt Frentress has service. We'll do that. We'll go ahead and see if we can get Mr. Pendergraph on the phone. See what's going on there. We'll see if we can't get Mr. Pendergraph to answer.
Hello.
Mr. Mark, how are you doing?
Doing great. Getting wet.
Uh-oh, that ain't no good.
Nope, storm moved in on top of me.
So what's the bite like today?
Very slow, very sporadic. I've only got 3. I just haven't had a chance to log them yet.
Okay, so you do have some fish to be posted on the board then.
I do.
Well, I think Mr. Frentress is in the same position with you as far as the storm goes. He also said he's got 2 fish, hasn't been able to post it up, but you should be feeling pretty confident with 3 at the moment.
Awesome. That's good news to hear.
So I got to ask, are you going to share your body of water or you want to hold that to the end?
Oh, it's Fork. Everybody knows it.
So
I got no problem telling people where I'm at.
I'm sure by now they are super post spawn there.
I've seen one of mine was a male that came off the bed earlier. That's the only bed I've seen since I've been here. The female took off, wouldn't come back. So, but that's it. They look post spawn. I've hooked into a couple on frog that I just couldn't get to the boat, and they're pretty skinny. So.
Well, you got just under 5 hours to go. You still pretty confident you're going to have a solid limit by the time this is all done?
I think I'll be able to pull it out. I've only fished maybe 1/3 of my area that I normally do. So, I mean, there's still a lot of ground and water to cover. So,
man, a lot of people don't know about Fork or do know about Fork. It only takes 30 minutes of the right bites, and you're over 100 inches.
Oh, yeah. If you just happen to stumble on them, it'll take off real quick.
Well, how many inches you think is it going to take to win today? Eric Siddiqui is sitting at 96.5 leading right now. Eric Pinkerton is sitting at 91.
Man, I think 96, 97 is going to be it. I don't think we're going to have anybody break 100 today. And I was trying to keep up with the Florida boys to see what they were doing. There's the ones who I thought would be the ones to do it. Of course,
So
it's easy up there.
the Florida have not put up Florida style numbers at all during this competition. The highest we have had so far is 85 3/4. Would be Sherman Bishop.
Damn,
So,
that's surprising.
Florida's not putting up Florida numbers. Of course, they did get hit with a tropical storm yesterday. So
That could mess up some stuff.
That's one thing about this style of tournament, man. Weather is everything.
Yeah. I wish the storm would have held off here, but I think it might actually end up helping.
Well, I think it's actually fixing to pass through your area and come up this way, so you might get some after front action.
I'm excited about that. My fish don't seem to be in the grass, so maybe something will stir them up.
Well, you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Old Town Canoes, of course. Love my Predator. I'm teamed up with them. Excite Baits out here punching with the Raptor Tail Junior. Anglers Pro Tackle and ALX Rods. I mean, of course, my wife. I love her. She lets me get out and do this.
Amen to that, man. Well, I'll let you get back at it. I know you and old Frenchers are in a grind, so I'm going to go ahead and Skype him and bug him a little bit, so you get a little bit more time on your hand.
Good. Well, I appreciate it. Tell him I wish him the best.
You got it, boss. Take it easy.
Thank you.
All right, so Pendergraft does have fish on the board. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a call through to old Mr. Frentress. I'm sure he's getting hit with rain as well. I tried giving him a heads up, but we'll go ahead and give him a shout just to see if he can answer. He might not have service. He's got service. It's ringing, so we'll see if we can get him on the phone. Nope, he's not answering. Okay, he's probably fishing. That's all good. All right, so let's see if we have any updates on the leaderboard. Let's see here. Man, I'm kind of pulling. I'm not gonna lie. I apologize, Anthony. I'm kind of pulling for Marty Hughes here only because, like I said, he did accidentally fish yesterday. George Nemeth is up to 33 3/4, tied with Rolando Nanton. He takes the tie with the bigger fish. So, there's that. Let's see. All right, appreciate you guys that are following along. I know we have been broadcasting live for quite some time, hour and 47 minutes. But when I'm running this thing, I told Greg ahead of time. I said, man, I just want to give like a constant feed, almost like you do when you watch MLF live or this other thing. I can't constantly have anglers on camera because us fishing out of kayaks, I know it's hard to stay on the camera, but I can keep calling people. We can keep doing live interviews. And man, we could just keep talking about it. That's what I like to do. I like to talk. Anybody will tell you that. Let's see here. Patrick Thart, man. Todd Patrick, too, still at one fish. Brandon Burton put up another fish. He's getting a little bit closer. I believe he's going up against Bishop. Let me pull that up real fast. No, he's going up against John Futch. And John, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. I don't know how to say it. We'll get it corrected as soon as I do get to speak with you. I wonder if I can get one of these Florida boys on the line. See what's going on there, because like Mark said, he thought Florida was going to take off. So let's see if we can get one of these Florida boys on the phone. Let's see if we can't get one of those. Florida's been kind of down in the dirt this whole weekend. So we want to find out why. Let's find out. Anybody that does know John Futch or Sherman Bishop, if you have their personal number or just friends with them on Facebook, if you want to let them know, I'm trying to get a hold of them so we can get them on the live feed just in case they do want to. It'd be appreciated. Just tell them to look in their inbox. All right, so we'll go ahead and message them. Derek Brundle's been in kind of a stump. He's sitting at 79 and a quarter. Man, finding out that Chris Delgado is probably sitting on fish with no service out of Sam Rayburn, where Jeff Isham put up 74 yesterday. 74 is awfully close to 79. Not saying that's what Delgado has, but I would, Sam Rayburn's another one of those places that, man, you can just pump up high numbers real quick if you know what you're doing, if the fish bite is right. Man, if I was Derek Brundle, I'd be a little worried. I would definitely be a little bit worried there. So I got a message out to John and Sherman. We'll see if we can get either one of them on the phone. There we go. Get back on here so I can follow in the... Okay, so you pronounce it as Fox. Dennis Robinson has said that you pronounce it John Fox. So that's what we're going to go with until heard otherwise. John Fox it is. Thank you, Dennis, for clearing that up with us. Conrad's messaging Bishop. I appreciate that. Kennan says that Conrad Benetti is the Florida jinx. Maybe we'll... I really would like to get Josh Booth back on camera and find out what's going on, pick his brain a little bit. I kind of tend to follow closer to the end of the leaderboard than I do the top because I love it when those guys just pound in. But I hate to bug him. He is in a fight for his life against Brad Case, who also has a very high chance of either sandbagging or not having cell service. It could go really either way. I don't think anybody's really sandbagging. I think it just comes down to a matter of signal or storms. I appreciate Mark picking up during the rainstorm. I'm not going to hold it against him that he hasn't posted his fish yet because, I don't like getting my phone wet either. Stupid stuff happens to my phone when that happens, like the speaker sound going out, but, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. All right, so Brandon Burton put up a 16-inch fish, I believe.
You see on the wall. You drinking my beer?
No.
You see on my wall.
All right. So we'll get it up here. Let's see. Jason Gardner, John Fox, Sherman Bishop, Thomas Gent. That Gent-Glinka matchup has stayed the same for quite a while. Oh, here we go. What we got here, John? All right, I got John's email, courtesy of Mr. Benetti. Well, again, it would help if I could spell correctly. Well, he told me that. He told me his email. Maybe not the right one. There was two of them that pulled up. We'll try the other one. No, we had the right one. Maybe setting the hook on a fish. Oh, here we go. We got him. We got him. John!
What's up, buddy?
So, first of all, how do you pronounce your last name?
My pronounce Fox. It's like German.
Gotcha. Okay. That was the biggest hang up we've had all morning as we have watched you light up the leaderboard since we got on this morning.
It's man, this is the second here to Florida in August. And I came out here yesterday because I won all day. I was thinking about going to Okeechobee. And this lake, Ward Lake, is like 15 minutes from the house. So I just like, I'm just going to grind it out. And I went, tried an area I ain't never fished before. And they were everywhere.
Well, you know, Brandon Burton just now started putting fish on the board. He's got 2 so far, so it looks like his area may just be turning on. They're smaller fish. You have I believe, a 50-something inch lead on him at the moment. So you got to be feeling pretty confident right now.
This is I'm here to learn. I've had a couple 17 inchers that I couldn't keep a hold of, and they decided they didn't want to be in the boat.
That happens to the best of us.
So just I'm learning. I love being in a kayak, and you just see a lot of different things that you don't see when you're going 70 miles an hour down a river or something.
Amen to that. It makes you pay attention to detail, that's for sure. So, what are you throwing today?
First thing this morning, I stuck. But they were empty, and then I just came. So then I just started picking them off because they were back there just sitting on beds. I mean, they weren't no big ones. They were all, 15, 16 inches. Nothing big, but I'm on the board.
Hey, you were one of the very first 5 fish limits, if not the first.
I lost my first 3 fish I lost this morning all within the first 15 minutes. And I was like, man, not one of these days.
Man, you want to give
I switched over to throwing a Cinco and say what?
Well, no, go ahead. You switched over throwing a Cinco?
Yeah, I just seen beds and I just picked my Cinco up and started throwing over there. And I've had an audience most of the day, some other boats, and they just kind of follow me around because I told them I'm kind of fishing in a kayak tournament. I got some now.
Man, so a lot of people like Mark Pendergraph, he said he was surprised at the lower inch rate that Florida is getting this week. You think that has to do with the weather?
Oh, yeah, because Florida, what I have learned, like I said, I'm from Indiana. I mean, if the weather's bad, we just go catch smallmouth. And down here, it could be 80 degrees one day, and you could just slam, and it'd be 81 the next day, and they don't want to eat nothing. They are some of the most sneaky bass I have ever fished for.
Well, hey, it's sitting over 80 inches. You got to be feeling good. You're not done fishing, so, you are in Florida. That next 20-inch fish is probably right around the corner.
I'm hoping, because that's where I'm going, right around the corner.
How many inches you think it's going to take to be first overall today? Currently, Siddiqui is sitting with 96.5.
Them northern bulls up north and Michigan, big smallmouth up north, 8 pounds. So I know there's giants up there. You could bust 100 on any given day if you come across the right school. So with that being said, I mean, I can see somebody if there's fishing for smallmouth 204 somewhere in that area.
Okay, 102, 104. That's not bad at all. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
Just my wife. I know I've called her a couple times. She's like, "I'm watching you." So just my wife, my kids, just all my buddies, man. Just for those of you that fish as a co-angler like I did, I was lucky last year and I won the national championship as a co-angler. So I could afford to move to Florida, and I bought a Hobie kayak, and I'm just tired of being in the back of the boat. So I did this, and I love it.
Man, once you're in them, man, it's a game changer. And those Hobies, they are really good boats. So, but man,
yeah, you can sneak up in areas that bass boats can't, and that was one of my areas is like that. I mean, I had to pedal and row to get through about an inch of the other side. It was about 2 foot, and I ended up fixing the last 17, 3 or 4 areas. So.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you get back to it and see if you can't call out and see if we can't get you to go ahead and advance into the next round.
I hope so. You guys have a good day.
You too, buddy. All right, a little bit of poor connection there. I'm sure that has to do with the area of fishing, but man, that's awesome. The dude's got boats following him. That's how you know you're doing it right. That's how you know you're doing it right. So we'll get that on here. I've been following along for most of the comments. Doesn't look like we have any new questions out. We'll see if we've brought on some people that fished yesterday. We've brought on people that are fishing today. I'm not really going to bother anybody else at the moment. Jonathan Pepin just jumped up. Threw another 16 1/4 on the board, I believe. He is now sitting at 71 1/4 inches. And I may be wrong, but I think the dude's only got 4 fish. Somebody wants to clarify that for me. Again, I can't really pull that up with everything I got going on. For some reason, it won't let me. But I'm pretty sure he's only got 4 fish. Again, not 100% certain. He just knocked Marty Hughes out of 10th place overall and took that position. There's some tight stuff going on here. Let's see if anybody else has really thrown up anything. We got a bunch of people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people with just 1 fish apiece. I think I just seen somebody else throw up something else. Let it go back around real quick. Brandon Burton is now up to 41 inches. He's got another one on the board. He is closing the gap for John Fox quick. And, a lot of people thought that Florida was going to be a game changer in this thing. Yesterday, the Florida boys squeaked by, and I do mean squeak. They didn't put up Florida numbers. They put up average numbers, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, they advanced, right? So they are on the next level. However, 80-inch range gives a lot of different areas the ability to come at you with what they've got to offer. If I'm John Fox right now, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Obviously, he's got a game plan together if he's got boats following. But in my personal opinion, I think he needs to call out at least 2 fish to hang on to that spot, because Brandon Burton's spot just recently started producing fish. So I think that he's going to be coming in hot. And that is correct. John Pepin does have just 4 fish. He's currently beating Greg Oaks, who hasn't posted anything quite yet. Again, might be a service issue because I know Greg is a stick. That last one, we talked to him earlier. He had a 20, a 19, and a 16, and he just threw up a 16 and a quarter. So, Pepin, if you're watching this, buddy, kudos to you. You and your cold weather fishermen, man, y'all are going at it. I'll stick to my warm fishing. Anybody else jump up? I think maybe Glinka, maybe a cold one, a smaller one. He is at 72. I can't remember if that's where he was at earlier or not. Anthony Garcia is still at 78.5. Marty Hughes still at 69 and a quarter. Rolando Nanton. Rolando Nanton posted another fish. He's jumped up to 51 inches. Fishing South Texas right now, man, I wouldn't take my eyes off of it. Like I said, the dude threw up huge numbers yesterday. He just passed Matthew Flett. I'd be paying attention to it, man. I would really keep an eye on him. I think he's got another thing coming. People just don't realize it, but those Florida waters. Here in 5 minutes from now, you might see John Fox throw up a 24-incher. That's how it happens there. I don't think we're going to get Mr. Delgado on Skype, especially if he doesn't have service. Maybe we should try Brandon Burton. If anybody knows Brandon Burton, I would also like to get Sean Bishop on. So if you do know Brandon Burton, shoot him a message for me. I'm messaging him right now. We're going to see if we can't get him on the show. And we'll try. If I can't get him on, we'll see if we can't get some people that are fishing the May bracket to come in and tell us what they think. But I'm enjoying these live interviews, just getting everybody's opinion, getting to talk to people, getting shout-outs, that kind of thing there. How about Milton? All right, so I got a message out to Burton. Again, if you do know him, just give him a little heads up. Okay, here goes Matt. So it looks like we can give Matt a call. If I can find Matt. What's up, buddy?
What's up, dude?
Well, you got everybody here. You got everybody here listening to you at the moment. Camera's not on, but we can all hear you. I heard from the grapevine that you got 2 fish.
I do. I got a couple fish, not very big. Hang on, I'm turning this video on real quick.
There we go. Well, you got to be feeling pretty. I can. We just got off the phone a little while ago with Mark Pendergraft. He said he sends his best regards.
How's he doing?
He's got 3 fish. He hasn't been able to post them. He said because of the storms, he kind of stopped and took shelter so we could Skype him. He said it's been raining pretty hard on him.
Yeah, we just got a little hailstorm a minute ago. We've been haven't really been able to fish any kind of the prime areas. But I've only got 2, not very big. I just hadn't submitted them yet. Mainly because we were hiding from the storms earlier. So.
Gotcha. Well, Mark said he's only got 3, and they're all little and skinny.
Mark's got 3 little ones?
That's what Mark says, but a little one to Mark is 19 inches.
That wouldn't surprise me. he was telling me he told me to take it easy on him. Well, I'm trying to take it easy on him. I don't want to, but the fish aren't cooperating.
How's William doing?
He's missed a couple this morning. But he doesn't have any right now at the moment. So,
man, Jason Gardner's taking it to him.
No, I just noticed that. I told him he needs to get with it. I just saw him earlier when we were hiding from the storm. So, hoping these fish turn on here shortly. I'm gonna start making a move to some different areas on the lake and see if I can't put some fish in. So I'm hoping they'll start eating soon. Wind's picked up a little bit. Sometimes that'll turn them on. So we'll see.
Now Charner Williams is out there with you too, right?
Yes, I think he's got 4. Last time I saw him.
He's posted up a couple of them. I imagine the storms and stuff and service issues have kept you guys from posting too. Yeah.
I know last time I talked to him, he had just caught one that he said was pretty good. I don't know how big it is, probably 17, 18 inches, but I don't know. I can't remember who he's up against, but...
Isn't he up against Ross Pinkerton?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Well, Ross is putting on an absolute clinic on Lake Whitney.
Ooh, okay.
He is sitting in second place with 91 inches and seems pretty confident that he's going to call at least 2 more.
All right. Yeah, I think we're in a place. We're on, no surprise, we're on Lake Athens, one of my favorite lakes. It's one of those lakes that gets hammered all the time, though. So I'm really thinking that since these storms pass, these fish are about to turn on. So it's just a matter of time before we run into them. So.
Well, that is the one good thing about a 10-hour tournament is you do catch the beginning of the evening bite.
True. And I think since we really haven't been able to fish much, we had a hailstorm come through here earlier that was just pretty brutal. I mean, we found an empty dock and took cover, but it was, I haven't ever been on the water in something that nasty, so.
Well, hopefully you pull a rabbit out of your hat and bust up some brackets today.
I'm gonna try. You talk to Mark again, tell him I'm coming for him.
Well, I mean, hey, you and your dad are would be both responsible for 2 of the biggest bracket busters this week. If you won and he lost, that would bust up a lot of folks' brackets.
Yeah, I know he's been stressing about it all week because he wants to do well. So I'm hoping we get on some fish here soon. And I told him just keep your head in it. It can happen really quick. You just got to be ready for them when they start biting. So,
how do you feel about Jason O'Brien getting taken out in round 1?
Man, I talked to him yesterday just for a little bit, and he's such a good guy, and he's a heck of an angler. And I just told him to keep his head in there. He's I wouldn't be surprised if you see his name on the top of a leaderboard in some more tournaments later on down the road this year. So,
well,
he's good. I just hate that he struggled yesterday, but I can understand because I'm doing the same today.
He did tell us he was going to be in the May bracket, so we do have something to look forward there. A lot of people have been tuning in, watching the live broadcast, realizing exactly what we're doing. And I don't know what your personal opinion on it is, but I think this thing is going to go huge.
So my first thoughts when I saw it was like, okay, cool. This is something, don't have to have, with all this COVID stuff, you don't have to have, meetings in person or check-ins, stuff like that. But I really like the head-to-head part of it. I think it just brings a little different dynamic to the sport. And I'm super competitive, so I I want to do well as anybody. So, I think the idea is great. I think there's going to be some more things that are going to fine tune it later. But I mean, you already had a 64-man field and people begging to get in with the first one. So I don't know if I'd like to see it like monthly like this. I would like to see it where it's maybe regional with a national version to it or whatever. But I think it's got some really big potential, and Greg's done a really good job putting it together. And I don't know if he had all this planned out from the get-go, but he's really done a nice job organizing it all, and it's growing really fast, and I think it has a lot of potential. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Well, already in the May lineup, you've already got Cody Milton, Jason Willis, Ben Spangler. I mean, we've already got some heavy freaking hitters in the May bracket signing up that you wouldn't think might compete in these things, but they're starting to come around too.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of times people are hesitant to jump in something that's brand new. They want to kind of see how it's run. Is it something that's going to work out well, and how's the payout, and are they going to be consistent with how they judge stuff, or all that kind of stuff with the roles. And I think it has a lot of potential as long as things like Greg, he's doing a good job and put things out there. You'll have sponsors. Well, I mean, because the anglers are liking it, so you'll have sponsors that'll start to come on board eventually. So it's going to grow. I have a good feeling about it. I think it's just new and different compared to anything that we've done with kayak fishing. It's totally different. It's going to be cool. I'm excited to see how it goes.
Well, let me ask you this: win or lose today, are you in or are you out for the May bracket?
I should be in, as long as it works out with my schedule, which I haven't looked that far. I would love to do it again. Whether I win or lose, I would love to do it again. I just need to make sure things work out with my work schedule. I was lucky that this one, everything worked out. The dates were like perfect, so no complaints there. So.
Well, good deal. How many inches total you think it takes to take number one overall today? Eric Sadiki's currently at 96.5.
Oh man, that's going to be tough to beat. 96 and a half. He's at 96 and a half. Oh man, that's going to be tough to beat. I bet that's going to be probably one of the top numbers. I really do. I mean, those fish turn on down here in Texas. I know the lake I'm on right now, you can catch 100 inches in a matter of 20 minutes. So it's just a matter of finding them. So.
Any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
I'd say that's going to be what?
Any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
Yeah, Greg, for putting this on. It's going to be cool. I'm excited and see how it goes. I've got a couple of sponsors. I got Mariner Sales is my biggest sponsor and biggest supporter. They've helped me a ton the last couple of years, and I've enjoyed working with them. If you don't know them, they're based here in Dallas. They can ship kayak stuff anywhere since everything's pretty much closed nowadays, and it's a great store. It carries all your top line stuff, and they're just fantastic to work with customer service wise as well. So who else? Luz and V&M Baits, based out of Toledo, Bend. So that's my people. Try to make them proud if I can catch them here.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be proud either way. But man, we'll let you get back at it. We'll check in with you here in a couple of hours and see how it goes. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna get off for about an hour, go back live about 2 o'clock, and just check in with everybody down the list and see what their last minute thoughts are before the end of the tournament.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, we did have a lot of live action there. Just real quick before I do go, I want to show this this video of Todd Patrick's big fish one more time before we do head in.
All right,
Just
let
a
her go.
solid 20.5 incher. My guess is going to be somewhere around the 5-6 pound range. Just by looking off of what I'm seeing. But swam off. Know he's feeling happy. He's pretty pumped up about it. So hopefully he gets a couple more fish on the board. I'm gonna get off for about an hour, take a little break, and then we'll get on to close this sucker out for a little while longer. I'll probably be on somewhere between 1 and 2, somewhere in there, and we'll get back on it and finish it out. So you guys take it easy, turn in on for the next one, and we'll be back soon.